No visit to India, therefore, would be complete without a pilgrimage to this remarkable young man. Prince Panu was given the honor of a private interview with the Tibetan God King. He brought a gift, and they exchanged the traditional scarf, which is a gesture of respect.
Shape is slightly different.
Yes, it's at the Pala art that went through Ceylon.
The Ceylon through University. Lucky. Thank you.
I like Your Holiness.
Prince Panu asked the Dalai Lama to unburden his heart in a statement to the people of the world.
His Holiness will be most pleased to say few words.
Thank you.
Man's progress in the field of science, His Holiness is saying, has enabled him to exploit nature for his welfare and happiness. Unfortunately, however, the great achievements of science are being used to develop weapons of destruction. Even worse, the strong are showing an urge to dominate and oppress the weak. Mankind, therefore, lives in a constant state of fear and distress. This suffering can be traced to man's egoism, which makes him think in terms of victory for myself, defeat for others. The only remedy for this error is a rededication to religion and a renewed practice of religious truth. Lord Buddha enjoined us to seek refuge in the three Ratnas: the Buddha, his teachings and his disciples, the belief in and observance of the chain of cause and effect, and the casting out of sin in the attempt to achieve virtue. All of us must recognize that all living beings are our kinsmen, and we must work for their benefit. If mankind accepts these ideals, then world peace will inevitably follow. All men, regardless of nationality, crave peace and happiness. No one desires misery and suffering. Man can elevate the human race above the animal kingdom only if he desists from causing injury to the weak, and only if he respects the rights of even the most helpless. Only by perceiving and practicing this truth shall we preserve the great achievements of the human race. I take this opportunity to thank the people of the world, Buddhist and non-Buddhist, who have given help and sympathy to my people and to myself in this time of our sorrow and disaster. I want to say nothing that might evoke ill feelings, but most of you know what has happened and is happening in Tibet. Your sympathy has given us, the Tibetan people and myself, great consolation, encouragement, and hope in these days of our suffering. Prince Panu then mentioned that the Dalai Lama was assumed to be a living Buddha or God King, and he asked the young man how this felt. The Dalai Lama said, "What a remark! I am only a blessed follower of the Lord Buddha." At the same time, Prince Panu had asked if His Holiness sponsored resistance to the Chinese invaders simply in order to regain power and riches. The Dalai Lama replied, "How could that be? If I desired only power and wealth, I could surely obtain them by forfeiting the right of my people to resist the Chinese invaders. From the time of my childhood, I have been taught only piousness. All Buddhists must know that our sanghas, our priests, are barred from indulging in worldly pleasure and must give up material possessions. What are power and riches to me? I did not become Dalai Lama through the use of force and power. Why then should I try to gain them?" I want and I possess only the teachings of our Lord Buddha. As the leader of the followers of his teachings, the welfare of my people and my country are my responsibility. The accusation that I wish power and riches is only evil talk on the part of my enemies, the Chinese. These enemies have become wicked indeed. They have destroyed our homes. They have turned our guns on us. Our people live under great privation and suffering. Prince Banu asked next what His Holiness expected of the future. The Dalai Lama replied, "As a leader of the Buddhist religion in Tibet, I hope that my suppressed people will win the sympathy and understanding and support of all those in the world who respect the rights and liberty of mankind. Please consider," he said, "that there are only 9 million Tibetans, probably less now. This is only a tiny majority compared to the populations of China, India, or America. Although our number is small, although we are only a few millions, what right has any people or nation to deny us basic human rights? Why cannot we have our liberty, our rights, our simple existence? In the present circumstances, I have only my hope. It is a small hope, but it is indestructible. I hope that we can persist against overpowering might until justice at last prevails." Finally, Prince Banu suggested to His Holiness that people of a small country must have tolerance and patience. The Dalai Lama's words in reply are, "Yes, I agree. We are the people of a small country. For many years before this last incident, we were tolerant and patient. But there is a limit to these virtues. When oppression becomes greater than human beings can bear, they must resist. Not all human beings have attained nirvana, nor have they reached the state in which they can discard human emotions." Finally, the Dalai Lama issued his blessing. "I take this opportunity to thank the people of the world," he said, "non-Buddhist and Buddhist alike, who have given help and sympathy to my people and to myself in this time of our sorrow and despair. Your sympathy has given us great consolation, encouragement, and hope in these dark days of our suffering.